All right, welcome to today's Explainer. We are diving straight into something I know drives us all crazy, that frustrating cycle of the vanishing paycheck. You know the one. But don't worry, because today we're going to break down the exact sequence you need to finally break free from it. So, seriously, where does your paycheck actually go? Do you ever feel like your hard-earned money literally just vanishes into thin air before you even get a chance to enjoy it? I mean, you work hard all month, that deposit finally hits your bank account, and then poof, it's gone. If that sounds painfully familiar, trust me, you are definitely not alone.
Okay, let's look at what's actually happening here. I call this the typical paycheck drain. Think about it. The very second most people get paid, what do? They immediately start paying everyone else first. They pay the landlord, they pay the bank for their car, the phone provider, Netflix, all the subscriptions, right? And after everybody else gets their slice of the pie, there is almost nothing left over for you. We spend our whole lives funding other people's businesses before we even think about securing our own future.
Section 1, the paycheck trap. Now, the psychology behind this trap is actually rooted in something called Parkinson's law. In economics, this basically says that your expenses will naturally rise to match your available income. It's kind of like a gas expanding to fill a room. No matter how much you make, whether you just snagged a huge bonus or landed a fancy new high-paying gig, if that money is just sitting there in your checking account, your brain looks at it and says, hey, we have cash, and you will absolutely find a way to spend it. This is exactly why you see people making six figures who are still living paycheck to paycheck. Section 2, flipping the script. So, how do we fix it? Well, look at the old way versus the new way. The old way is basically what we've all been taught, right? Spend your money on bills and life, and then save whatever crumbs happen to be left over at the end of the month. And let's be real, usually that's exactly zero. The new way? It flips this entirely on its head. You save first, and then you spend whatever is left over. You literally have to start viewing your savings as a mandatory bill, a bill that is paid to your future self before any other expenses. It is, without a doubt, the absolutely crucial, most important bill you have. And this brings us to a really powerful concept. I save first, everything else suggests. That's the secret sauce right there. You have to fundamentally change your mental model to secure your wealth first, right off the top, and then force your lifestyle to adapt to the remaining balance. Actually, think of it this way. You don't adjust your savings to fit your lifestyle. You adjust your lifestyle to fit what remains after you've paid yourself. Section 3. A Tale of Two Savers. Let's put this into perspective with two friends, Sarah and David, who both earn the exact same amount of money. Contrast these two habits. So Sarah follows that traditional spend-first approach. She pays her $1,500 rent, drops $450 on her car payment, grabs groceries, does some shopping, and guess what? End of the month, she has $0 saved. Zero. Now look at David. David automatically invests 20% of his income, that's $800, immediately on payday. Bam, done. Then he simply builds his life and his budget around his remaining $3,200. Now, fast forward 10 years. $140,000. Assuming a pretty average 8% return, David's portfolio could hit well over 140 grand. He's built this incredible safety net and is well on his way to financial freedom. And Sarah? Well, after 10 years of earning the exact same money, she has almost no investments and zero security. None. Here is the huge takeaway. The difference wasn't a higher salary. It was the order in which the money was allocated. Financial security is built by the sequence of allocation. This proves, absolutely beyond a shadow of a doubt, that you do not need a massive income to get rich. You just need the right order of operations. Section 4. The Power of Automation. Okay, let's look at how this actually plays out over time. Comparing these two strategies reveals a pretty massive gap. On one side, saving $0 a month. Obviously, that goes nowhere. On the other side, automatically investing just $50 a week, which comes out to about $2,600 a year. Even modest, consistent investments like $50 a week can compound into an absolute monster of a nest egg over decades. The trick isn't finding huge windfalls of cash. It's the consistency of the habit. And that brings us to this. Motivation fades, systems last. Seriously, if you rely on sheer motivation to log into your bank account and manually transfer money every single month, you are going to eventually fail. It's just human nature. If you leave the money in your checking account, your brain sees it as available cash to spend. So, automation is your ultimate secret weapon. Why? Because the decision is made once, and the money vanishes into your savings before you can even be tempted to touch it. Section 5, your action plan. All right, here is your definitive 5-step blueprint for your very next payday. Step 1, choose a savings percentage. Honestly, even if it's just 10% or even 5%, just pick a number to start. Step 2, open a dedicated account totally separate from your everyday checking. Step 3, set up automatic transfers for the exact day you get paid. Step 4, pretend that money never existed. If you don't see it, you won't miss it. And finally, step 5, increase your savings rate whenever you get a raise. This defeats lifestyle inflation before it even starts, and it takes all the exhausting decision-making right out of the whole wealth-building process. Let's take Emily as a quick example. She earns $5,000 a month, and she's decided to pay herself a 10% cut, so $500. But she breaks it down really nicely. $300 goes straight to a retirement account, $150 to an emergency fund, and $50 to a brokerage account. And she does all of this automatically before she even touches the rest of her income. Every single dollar has a job, and it's working for her future.
Section 6. Key takeaways. Let's quickly recap the absolute essentials you need to start implementing today. First, wealth is built by the order of your money use. Second, saving must be your priority number 1. Third, automation makes the entire process completely effortless. Fourth, consistency will always be intensity. You don't need huge lump sums, just steady habits. And finally, avoid lifestyle inflation at all costs. These small, intentional decisions are exactly what lead directly to financial freedom over time.
Habits matter more than income. I really want you to let that sink in. The habit you start right now is far, far more important than waiting around until you earn some extraordinary salary. Think about it. Every millionaire out there started with the very first dollar they intentionally paid to themselves. So I want to leave you with this final, really important question. Going forward, will you spend first or will you pay yourself first? The choice is entirely yours, but I challenge you to pick a percentage and set up an automatic transfer today. Think deeply about the financial destiny you are actively choosing with your very next paycheck. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I honestly can't wait to guide you through the next one.